Hi everyone, it's Anna Marika Gerritsen from the AMG from Eat Well Live Well, the Endometriosis Nutritionist, and welcome to Tuesday Lives. So last week in my not so live pre-recorded video, accidentally, I talked about why nutrition can make such a difference when you have endometriosis. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to look at different things, different elements of your health to make sure that you really get the full picture. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk about the digestive system and one element of the digestive system. Because some of the symptoms that people typically experience with endometriosis just don't make sense if it is just a hormonal disease. So if you missed last week's video, have a look at the video tab and have a look at that video, because I explain how it just doesn't make sense if you just look at it from a hormonal perspective. So we looked at two other systems in the body that contribute to your endometriosis. One was the immune system, and we'll get back to that at some point later, and the other was the digestive system. And combined, those systems create inflammation, and inflammation creates a state in your body that allows the endometrial tissue to adhere to organs and tissues outside your uterus and to grow. So if we can reduce the inflammation, we can reduce the spread and growth of endometriosis tissue. We can't cure it, but we can certainly make life a whole lot better. And some of the symptoms that we can really see an improvement on, and that my clients see a quick improvement on usually, is bloating and head fog. And today I want to look at least at part of this element. Sorry, my light just went off. Don't know why. Okay, I'm back. So it's live. All right, back to where I was. So let's look at, so we're going to look at part of the digestive system, and in particular, the microbiome. And you may have heard the term microbiome. The microbiome, the term refers to the makeup of all the bacteria that you have in a certain area. So in your gut, so your gut is your stomach and your intestines, you have trillions of bacteria, and without them we would actually not be able to live. And those bacteria play a very important role in a variety of things. They help with digestion, but also they have a direct impact on your emotions and your moods, and it triggers a lot of the brain function. Now, what we know about women with endometriosis, which is really interesting, is that they have a different microbiome. So you're supposed to have lots and lots of good bacteria, and you're supposed to have very few bad bacteria. And I'm not going to give you the Latin names because I usually don't remember them, but we're just calling them bad bacteria. And women with endometriosis have more bad bacteria than women without endometriosis. Now, why would that be a problem, you may wonder? Well, first of all, it means the biggest problem with that is that those bad bacteria, they secrete chemicals. The good bacteria do as well. The chemicals that they secrete signal various processes in your system. So one of the things that they signal is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the biggest nerve in the body, and it runs directly from your gut to the emotional centers in your brain. So when these bad bacteria, or the good bacteria, but it's important to think about the bad bacteria in this case, they secrete what we call endotoxins. And those endotoxins trigger the vagus nerve to send messages to your emotional parts of the brain. So you get these emotions triggered because of the bacteria in your gut. And these are emotions like anxiety, depression, frustration, anger, depending on how that works with you. So if you have anxiety, for example, as part of your endometriosis symptoms, or you have anxiety but you didn't realize that that was part of your symptoms, then it could well be influenced or worsened by your microbiome in your gut. So why would that be of interest to us if we're looking at food? Well, one of the best things we can do with food is address the microbiome, because the bacteria in your gut eat what you eat. The good bacteria thrive and grow on foods that are fresh fruit and vegetables, are high in fiber, so the whole food, plant-based foods, they love it, they eat it, and their colonies grow as a result, which is what we want. Want to guess what the bad bacteria live on? Sugar. Anything sugary. And so if you have a diet that is high in simple carbohydrates, and this also means white rice, pasta, white bread, or cakes, and etc., or sugar or chocolate, you're actually feeding those bad bacteria, and then they can grow. Their colonies can grow. So when we look at addressing your microbiome, and as a result, addressing what, amongst things, your emotions and your anxiety and depression and anger and frustration, or your happy moods, what you feed your microbiome, what you feed your bacteria, is very, very important. This is why an anti-inflammatory diet, sort of without a specific focus on addressing the microbiome, but also helps to improve your microbiome in the process. So if you find that you are having these more emotional experiences as part of your endometriosis, or even if you hadn't put that in the bucket with your endometriosis symptoms, looking at fixing up your microbiome is a great first step. So what that means is basically removing anything that might feed your bad bacteria. And that means removing anything that comes in a packet and removing anything that might contain sugar or simple carbohydrates, and going to a diet where you feed the good bacteria with lots of fiber, fresh fruit and vegetables, and healthy whole food, mostly plant-based meals. And then over time, it takes a while for your microbiome to improve, but over time, you will start to notice that your emotions will flatten in terms of your anxiety will reduce, your depression will reduce. And even if you tend to get like sort of premenstrual syndrome symptoms leading up to your period, you might find that it also evens it out a bit. So microbiome, a key element to address in your endometriosis through diet. It doesn't happen overnight, but it will make a big difference. So that's one element of your digestive system that we can improve on with nutrition. And in next week's Tuesday Live, I will look at leaky gut, because I'm willing to bet my life. No, I won't bet my life on it, but I have yet to come across a client who has endometriosis who does not have leaky gut. So we're going to look at that in more detail as we go forward in the next few Tuesday Lives. So if you enjoy these lives, let me know. I'd love to hear what you get out of them. I'd love to hear if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to address. I can throw in any topic that you might be interested in. If you know someone who has endometriosis, you can share this video with them. it might start to help them see how they can start to feel better, take control of their symptoms a bit. And yeah, next week we'll look at leaky gut and all the symptoms that you have that are probably related to leaky gut and not to hormones. So stay well, look after yourself. I know that these are horrible, difficult times. For you, being in isolation might feel very familiar. If you have lots of symptoms and have to hide away a lot of the time. But look after yourself and think about how you can start to take a little bit of control by, in this case, improving your microbiome. So see you next week. Bye for now.